cool. These, what's green here, sort of. It's all frosted down now, but that's all Labrador tea. It doesn't grow in big groups, but there's bunches of it like this all over the place. Lots and lots. This whole floor is all pretty much sphagnum moss. This stuff is great. Underneath it is the dead sphagnum moss, which is peat moss. So that's pretty good. Well, there's the crowd. There's Casey. Oh, there's Big Flint coming. Well, maybe coming. And deadfalls and wind blowing down stuff all over the place here. You'd really want to be cautious trying to set up some kind of a camp in this area. The ground is very spongy and very uneven, so not the best place for that. Okay, Flint, off we go. You too, Mag. This'll do. Smoky. Mushrooms, onions, you can't beat that on a camp out. we're going to do here is going to mix up some bannock. I make up a mixture of the flour and baking powder and all, a little salt and so on, all that ahead of time. And we're going to make what people might know as pizza pockets or something like that, except instead of pizza, I'll be using mushrooms and onions and that little bit of, that's some of the meat that some of the pork that I butchered there not long ago. And that's been marinated and smoked. And I'm about 3 feet away from it, about a meter. And you wouldn't believe how good that smells. I know everybody says that, it's smell-o-vision thing, but honest to goodness. I like to put just a little bit of water in it, because now I always carry extra, what are you doing down there? I always carry extra of the mix with me, of the bannock, unless I'm on a long trip and I've used it up and I'm down to the last little bit. But generally, I like to have plenty with me, because you know it's pretty easy, even if you've done it a ton of times, it's pretty easy to make a mistake and you know, get a little too much water in there, and then it's soppy and soggy, and I wouldn't say it's not edible, but it's certainly not very nice, and it's maybe not what you want for the project you're working on. So we'll just make up a little bit of this, add a little more water obviously here, and then I'm going to pat this out and make little flat pieces like a pie crust almost, so I can make a pocket with it. Okay, what I've done here is I put the onions and stuff on there, and I patted out my dough. I get a little soot on there from the pan, but I wasn't able to turn the camera on really during that process, because quite honestly it became so messy I didn't want to touch the camera until I had a chance to kind of clean up a bit. But now what we're going to try to do is pinch these guys closed a bit. I was going to just put these on the grill, but considering I don't seem to want to really pack in too tight. Oh, there we go. I might put them in the pan and do it that way. I don't really want them to fall apart and lose them. It's been smelling so good for so, oh, that's better. Well, they're starting to just brown nicely. It'll take a few more minutes. I got to keep moving them a little bit to. I had let the coals burn. It took me longer to flatten out that dough. It's hard to do when you're not at home in a kitchen. So it took me a little longer to do that, and I had built up a nice bed of coals just to cook with coals, but by the time I got the dough rolled out, I lost some of my coals, so I had to sort of rekindle a little bit. Looking good. Oh, look at that. I'm tempted to just eat it before it's even finished baking itself. The nice thing is that the filling was already pre-cooked. We did that first, as you remember, so we don't really have to spend an hour trying to get this to cook up. All we have to do is really get the bannock dough to cook and brown a little bit, but it's just doing great, keeping the fire low. And it's turning out so good. It smells absolutely awesome. Ugh. The moment of truth. It's probably going to be hot. I left the other one in. The other one's a bit thicker, so I'm going to leave it on just a bit longer. But that's just nicely cooked. I think this little bit of soot that I got on it here from the bottom of the pot there was, I tried to use that to roll it out, but it was getting it too dark. But onions and mushrooms, and then that smoked meat. That's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. We'll get some, don't worry. Just because you're out in the bush, I'm several kilometers from home. I'm not sure exactly how far, I didn't really pay that much attention, but it's a fair ways. But you can still eat well. You just have to think ahead a little bit. Sometimes a little preparation at home just to get the thing going is a nice idea. But generally you can do a pretty good job of it out here. So you have to think your way through it. Oh man, that's awesome. I know you're hungry too. Maggie here. I don't know if you can see her in the field of screen. Probably not. But she is a walking garbage can when it comes to food of any kind, any description. Maybe we've got somebody coming up. Not somebody, but something. I can hear something in the bush. Probably smells lunch. Anyway, well, I'm going to sit here for a while and enjoy the rest of my, well, it's past lunch, but not quite supper time. I guess it's close. I want to thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. I hope you're getting something from some of these videos as far as encouragement to get out and try it, and maybe ideas for some of the things that I make up to use. It just makes things easier. But you all have a real good week out there. Everybody stay safe. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did, and hit the little bell so that you'll get notified when any videos come out. And let me know if you liked the video, and let me know if you've got anything to question or suggest or whatever in the comment section. And take care, and we'll see you all the next time. That's great. Hey, leave the fingers. I know. Oh, boy, we're leaking. Gotta get back. And that's that.